I came across this video by Modern Ideas. Check out their channel. I'm trying to leave the video and their channel in the description. I have seen their videos before. I haven't watched all of them, but I have seen a couple of them before. This is longer than the videos that they normally put out. And I see, Lil Kid, Kanye West, The Power of Delusional Self-Belief. I watched like 30 seconds of the video so far. I think it'll be interesting to react to. So let's get into it.
Because I think right now, if I was to quit rapping and I said I want to go to the NBA, I would be in the NBA.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes.
No, you.
First off, I think this whole setup right here is just rendered out. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it is. So amazing. Straight out the jump. There's some quality editing, quality, just quality video production.
You would.
Yes,
Shout out to Modern Ideas. I always like this on dude's videos.
I would.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
Why would you think you could make it to the NBA?
Because I think I could do anything.
College basketball players, there's only 35,926, and there's only 550 of them drafted. The odds are, if you are a college basketball player, the odds of you being drafted are 1.53%. Let alone if you were a high school player or a middle school player, the odds are way lower.
I'm an up-and-coming fighter, and without a doubt, you will see me on the UFC in the near future. Without a doubt.
MMA fighters 60,000, UFC fighters 611. The odds of being from just becoming a regular MMA fighter to a UFC fighter is 1.2%. Now, the first clip, it was Kanye West talking about NBA, talking about being in the NBA if he quit rapping. This is actually Conor McGregor that actually legitimately did become a UFC fighter.
This is the first office of Amazon.com, and up here, this is my desk here.
Oh shit. Hey, fun story. I actually have a desk that's made out of a door as well. I made it whenever I was a teenager. I still am a teenager, but a couple years ago, about 3-4 years ago, I have a desk that's made out of door, and I just thought it was a goofy idea, so then I made it. I actually still have that desk. I don't ever use it though. It's just outside, rotting basically. That's insane. This dude, Jeff Bezos, came from sitting in an office using a door as a desk to becoming the richest man in the world. The Power of Delusional Belief by Modern Ideas Production. No Dream Too Big. Chapter
July
1.
1945
Gunda Haig, with the windblown hair, number 200.
breaks the world record for the fastest time to run a mile. 4 minutes and 1.2 seconds.
And people said, well, there may be a barrier.
At the time, everyone believed that 4 minutes was the barrier, that running a mile in under 4 minutes was physically impossible.
You can't keep on running faster.
Scientists even claimed that a human body simply isn't capable of running that fast, that if it ever did, the heart would explode before it even got to the finish line. But an overconfident medical student by the name of Roger Bannister believed otherwise. And on the date of May the 6th, 1954,
As a a medical student, knew that there wasn't a brick wall. If you could run it in 4 minutes and 2.2 seconds, then you would find somebody else somewhere who trained a little better and they could do it.
And just shy of 2 months later, 22 more people had followed in Roger's footsteps.
They went from thinking that if you ran faster than a 4-minute mile, your heart will explode, from over 20 people running faster than a 4-minute mile. As soon as one person did it, another guy believed that he could do it or even go faster. As soon as he did it, there are 20 other people that believed that they could do it or could go faster. I feel like that's one of the key reasons why I believe seeing people in real life, or just seeing people do the things that you might think is impossible for you to do, especially if they're in real life or if they're closer to you. Like Friday I went to a park. I went to a basketball park, and that was my first time in my life hooping against a college basketball player. And this dude, he was like 2 inches taller than me, 10 pounds heavier than me, but he was like athletic. He was dunking on me. He was whooping my ass. I'm not gonna lie, that was my first time I ever played against someone that is that high of a level. And ever since Friday, I've been thinking about how I can be more athletic, more skilled at basketball. Because, I've seen NBA players all my life, on YouTube, on TV, on TikTok, whatever. But I've never really seen, I never really believed that I could be there next to it. But I shot a 3-pointer in this dude's face. He was a college hooper. And, anyways, just being around there, just seeing people do something that you think might be impossible for you, if you allow it, you can allow that to be really set a spark inside of yourself, believing that you can do it, that you can achieve what you once thought was impossible.
So for 9 years, not one person could break the record. But as soon as it was done once, all of a sudden everyone was now capable.
He's got a world record, 3:43.
The record today sits at 3 minutes and 43 seconds. Pretty far off the impossible barrier of 4 minutes if you ask me.
That's cool. That's a cool little thing right there they did with the Adult Swim, like parody almost.
This is a song that I used to hear the old folks sing a long time ago. And I used to hear them tell me these words.
When we were little kids, we all had big dreams. If someone asked you what you wanted to do when you grew up, it was an astronaut, an athlete, or maybe it was an actor. But then when you get to a certain age, you're expected to lower your standards. Told you can't do certain things. And I don't disagree, to be honest. Most people shouldn't be chasing a dream. But there's some people out there that have it inside of them. And it makes me wonder, how many of those people never got there because they were told they couldn't?
If everybody was like a boss or CEO of a company, we would have no employees to actually run the company, But yeah, that is true. Whenever you're a little kid, people all around you tell you that you can do whatever you want if you put your mind to it, which is true. But as you get older, they tell you to lower your expectations, or have a plan B, or whatever, and they try to prevent you from doing something unrealistic so you can have a lower chance of failure. Because here's the thing, your loved ones, they might want to see you to succeed, but they'll much rather see you be unhappy and not successful than for you to be a failure, you know? They would much rather for you to live a life that you don't really want to live rather than you to be a failure, you know? So if there's a risk of you becoming very successful or a failure, the people around you are always going to try to tell you not to take that risk, even though that risk might be what's best for you in the long run. Hard work or luck. Chapter 2.
$115.8 billion. That's how much money Bill Gates is currently worth.
If you get rid of 99%, I'd have 1.3 billion.
I'm so sorry.
Just 1% of Bill's money is more than 500 times more than the average person will make throughout their entire lifetime. And I don't care what you think about him. Bill's a great guy. He's done great things.
Is it true that you can leap over a chair from a standing position?
It depends on the size of the chair.
But I want to take a look at how. How can a single human being who wasn't handed anything, by the way, make more money than 60 fucking countries combined?
That's an insane statistic. 60 countries? One person? Damn. Combined?
At age 12, Bill's parents send him to a private school by the name of Lakeside. 1 year in, the school gains access to something special.
This is a Teletype Model 30.
One of the only computers in the world at the time. And this is where Bill finds his love for programming. Alongside his classmate Paul Allen, they both begin experimenting with writing code. At the time, they were discouraged from playing around with the computers, told they were better off pursuing something real in the world. And so Bill did exactly that. After graduating, he goes off to college to study law. Hopes of being a lawyer. But whilst he's there, he keeps his passion for computers. He spends most of his spare time reading about them. In books, in articles, in magazines. Fascinated by them. And on a regular night in January 1975, he stumbles across something that sparks his interest. And as he's reading, an idea comes into his mind.
Hello. I'm Bill Gates, chairman of Microsoft.
That idea went on to become one of the biggest, most recognizable companies in the entire world. Just 8 months after getting the idea, Bill Gates and Paul Allen decided
I'm on a Microsoft computer right now.
that they would drop
That's why he got so much money.
out of college and focus on building Microsoft.
Son of a bitch.
And over the course of the next 50 years, they did exactly that. They built an empire, just last year turning over a light $88 billion in profit. Now, Bill's story is an interesting one, because from the outside looking in, we can see how lucky he was. Born into an upper middle class family, access to one of the only computers in the world at the time. The list goes on. But you can't look at that list and blame luck alone for his success. Sure, Bill had one of the luckiest head starts a human could ever have, but he also built everything himself. Bill was an incredibly hard worker.
If you were born in the same place that he was in, you probably wouldn't have done what he was done. Not that you would be worse off, I'm just saying that you probably wouldn't be Bill Gates, like, even if you were born in his shoes, you know?
We were hardcore about, hey, if you're working on a piece of code, just get it done. Don't worry about sleep.
He'd be in the office 7 days a week, up to 18 hours a day.
I didn't believe in weekends. I didn't believe in vacation.
From age 20 to age 30, Bill and Paul didn't take a single weekend off. He never received a penny from his parents to fund Microsoft. In fact, the business was actually losing money for the first 5 years. Luck was involved, no doubts about it. He was in the right place at more than the right time, but he also put in more work than everyone else. The success wouldn't exist without both parts.
Yeah, if you try to blame luck or, put luck as for everyone being successful, it's like you're right, but you're wrong at the same time. It's like everyone's lucky. If you look around, you can find how lucky that you are, If you can really open your eye, you can believe that you're the luckiest person in the world. But, people be holding themselves back because they're like, oh, this dude's lucky, this dude's lucky, this dude's lucky, this person's lucky, blah, 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 blah. Even though you're lucky as well, man.
I think as people, we like to think of the world as linear, that things happen in a straight line. But that
it doesn't. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down.
That never seems to be the case. Most of the time, things happen very randomly. And if we're talking in terms of success, it's usually exponential. Usually there's a few lucky moments that change things forever. For example, like I said, Microsoft was losing money for the first 5 years. It was only in 1980 when they made a deal with IBM when they got their first breakthrough. They were introduced to millions of computers overnight.
People talk about, wow, you've had such success and it's just been so overnight and whatever. Well, whatever success I've got has come after like 8 years of just nothing working out.
I said it a couple videos ago. Failure breeds success. I'm telling you guys, that is one of my mottos. Failure breeds success.
At a certain point, I believe with enough time, things start to become inevitable. We've already established that luck is involved, and you need to be in the right place at the right time. But at least in my mind, it makes sense that within an entire lifetime, it's impossible that you don't get lucky once. Tarantino is a great example of this point I'm trying to make. As you heard him say,
8 years of just nothing working out.
And when he did finally get some success,
Quentin Tarantino,
it all came overnight.
Thanks.
His first feature film did around $2.9 million on a $1.2 million budget. That's $1.7 million in profit. And the reason his story fits perfectly with this video is because logically speaking, it would have made sense to quit after year 4 or 5. Clearly what he was doing wasn't working, but because he was...
That's what most people don't even start, and the people that do start, they quit after a year, and the people that don't quit after a year, they quit after 5 years, and the people that don't quit after 5 years, they quit after 10 years. Everyone that's successful, they never quit. Everyone that failed, they always quit. That's just something about life.
Delusional.
That will always be true.
Enough to believe it would work, he put himself in a position where eventually it just had to. Sure, he's a talented guy, but he wasn't born with the ability to make great films. It was the 8 years of nothing that developed him into a great filmmaker. And because he was a great filmmaker, and because he was around for so long, one day he was in the right place, at the right time. I honestly don't see a way where if you have one dream in life, and you're committed enough to continue going for it for at least a decade, eventually it doesn't work out. And I think the hardest part about it, and the reason success rates are so low, is because people struggle to believe that. And so they change directions before they ever get there. I mean, it could happen next week, or it could happen in 30 years' time, you don't know. But at the end of the day, you only get one life, so you might as well go for what you actually want. And it's going to take some delusion to keep you going for that long, because most likely, nothing's going to happen for a very long time. But eventually it will, and those who stick around will find that out.
bottom, so the top's the only place to go now.
I, all day long, would be practicing on the elevator in my dorm. I'd be going ba 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 ba, saying the shit. Right when Con would bring me up, my fucking head would spin. I'd forget where I was, not making sense. I would say 2 jokes, and then I'd be like, oh my God, I don't know what's coming next. And I had that going for a while, but I still would go home at night and go, fucking, I'm gonna be so fucking good at this. I don't know what it was. Psycho.
It's funny, delusional thinking can sometimes carry you to the, like, once you develop some skill, that delusional is like a little guardian. It like keeps you protected while you actually develop talent. But that's how you make it. That's how you make it in kind of everything. Like you're delusional, you know?
Yes.
Check out the video by Modern Ideas, The Power of Delusional Self-Belief. If you enjoyed this video from him, he has other videos that are very high quality as well. All of his videos are high quality. All of his videos are worth checking out. His videos are only 3-4 minutes long. So go check out his video if you like this video right here. Never give up. Never quit. Believe in yourself. And, you know, every failure, you learn from more failures than you do from your mistakes. I mean, you learn from more failures than you do from your successes. And just keep on going, keep on riding, never quit. You might have to pivot, but never quit, okay? Have a good day.